Title: The Confession That Changed Everything. A fictional story inspired by Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The crowd at Arrowhead Stadium roared like a tidal wave, washing over Travis Kelce as he stood tall in the end zone, arms outstretched like a gladiator. But for the first time in his career, he didn't feel the high. The euphoria that usually pulsed through his veins after a touchdown was absent. He turned toward the stands, eyes searching, not for his coach or teammates, but for her. Taylor. She was there, as always lately, wrapped in a Chiefs hoodie and cheering from the VIP box. Her smile lit up the night like 1,000 stadium lights. But Travis's heart was heavy. He had to tell her. Tonight. Later, back at her New York penthouse, Taylor Swift curled up in a cashmere blanket on the couch, waiting. Travis had flown in after the game, and she'd made her famous lavender chai cookies. The apartment was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of cinnamon, vanilla, and uncertainty. "Hey, Tay," Travis said softly as he stepped through the door. His usual confidence, the swagger that made him unstoppable on the field, was gone. Taylor looked up and smiled, but the smile faded as soon as she saw his face. "You look like you just lost the Super Bowl," she joked, trying to lighten the mood. "I wish it was just that." He sat beside her, took her hand. "I need to tell you something." The words didn't come easy. Travis stared at the floor, then into her eyes, then back at the floor again. "I haven't been honest with you, not completely." Taylor's stomach dropped. Her heart pounded like one of her concert bass lines. "About what?" "There's something I've been hiding for a long time, even from myself. I thought I could keep pretending, but I can't anymore. Not with you." He paused, the air thick between them. Finally, he said it. "I don't want to play football anymore." Silence. Not the kind of silence that follows a mic drop, but the kind that hangs in the air like a fog you can't see through. Taylor blinked, stunned. "What?" "I want out," he said. "Not just from football. From the whole circus. The pressure, the expectations, the performance. It's killing me, Tay." Tears welled in his eyes, and Taylor saw something she'd never seen in him before: fear. "I've been pushing myself so hard, trying to be everything everyone wants me to be, on the field, in the media, even with you. But I'm losing myself. I don't know who I am anymore when I'm not Travis Kelce the athlete." Taylor's voice cracked. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I was scared you'd see me differently. That you'd think I was weak, or worse, lost." Her eyes filled with tears too. "I would never think that. Never." He continued, voice trembling. "I've seen guys in the league spiral after retirement. They get forgotten, hollowed out. And I kept thinking, if I walk away, I'll lose everything. But now, I realize, if I don't walk away, I'll lose myself." Taylor stood up and turned away, hiding her face. He rose too, approaching her carefully. "Tay. I'm telling you this because I want to start over. A new life. One where I'm not defined by what I do, but who I am. And I want you in that life, if you still want me." She turned around, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You think I fell in love with your career? I fell in love with you. The goofy guy who sings off-key in the shower. The one who sends me 6 texts in a row because he forgot to say something sweet the first time." He chuckled through the emotion. "You mean I'm not the suave boyfriend I think I am?" She laughed through her tears. "Not even close." They both laughed, but it didn't last. The weight of the moment settled again. "What will you do?" she asked gently. "I don't know. Travel, right, maybe start a foundation for kids in sports, something real. Something that feels right." She nodded slowly. "You know, when I took time off after the Reputation tour, I thought the world would forget me. I felt invisible. But stepping away gave me clarity. It gave me songs. Maybe this is your blank space, Trav. He smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. Funny. I always thought that song was about someone else. They embraced, tightly. No applause, no flashbulbs. Just two people holding on to each other amid the unknown. The next morning, the world woke up to a statement from Travis Kelce. After years of giving everything I had to the game I love, I've decided to step away from football. This isn't the end of my story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one where I choose presence over performance, purpose over pressure. Thank you for the support. And thank you, Taylor, for reminding me that I'm enough, even off the field. That night, Taylor sat by her piano, her fingers gliding over the keys. A new melody was being born, raw, vulnerable, and unlike anything she'd ever written. It was about letting go. About holding on. About love that survives the loss of identity. About a man brave enough to confess the truth, and a woman strong enough to embrace it. And when it was done, she titled it, When the Game Ends. Because sometimes, the real victory doesn't happen in stadiums. It happens in hearts. Sure. Here's a long, fictional, and deeply emotional story about Taylor Swift reacting to a shocking confession from Travis Kelce. Title, The Confession. That broke the silence. The world saw them as the power couple, America's sweetheart and the NFL's golden boy. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were the kind of love story that made tabloids sell out, fans squeal, and social media implode with hashtags and memes. But behind the flashes, music, and touchdowns, something much deeper stirred, something fragile, something human. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon in April. The kind of day that hung low with clouds like swollen eyes ready to burst into tears. Taylor sat alone at the grand piano in her Nashville home, fingers grazing the ivory keys, trying to summon a melody. The world was waiting for her next masterpiece, the whispers of a Lover 2.0 album flooding every corner of the internet. But her heart was elsewhere. Travis was due to arrive any minute. They hadn't spoken in days. Not really. The texts had grown colder, replies delayed, the emojis less heartfelt. He'd been distant since returning from a charity event in Kansas City. She noticed the shift, the way he looked through her instead of at her. Something was off. The door opened softly. "Hey, Tay," his voice echoed through the high-ceilinged foyer. She didn't turn. "Hey." He stepped inside, drenched slightly from the rain, brushing off droplets from his jacket. His eyes were tired. Not the exhaustion of practice or jet lag. This was soul tired. "I missed you," she offered quietly, a tremor in her voice. He sat across from her on the bench, not touching, but close enough that she could feel his presence, heavy, like gravity itself had shifted. "I need to tell you something," he said, voice low. Her stomach flipped. "Okay." There was a long pause. Then he said it. "I've been lying to you, Tay. Not about cheating. Nothing like that. But about something real. Something deep. I don't know who I am anymore. And I don't think I ever did." Her breath caught. "What do you mean?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "I mean, the football, the fame, the parties, it's been noise. All of it. I built this image, this Travis Kelce everyone wants me to be. But inside, I've felt empty for years. And being with you, it should have made me feel whole. But it only reminded me how lost I am." Taylor's fingers froze above the keys. He continued, "You're this incredible, blazing star. You know who you are. You write truth and pain and magic into lyrics. And me? I've just been performing. I've been pretending. Even around you." She felt the tears well before they fell. Not because he hurt her with betrayal, but because he trusted her with the parts of himself he kept hidden from the world. "You think I'm whole?" she asked, voice cracking. "I write those songs because I'm still trying to figure out who I am too. Every love story I write, every heartbreak I bleed into my music, it's me trying to find home. Maybe that's why we found each other. He looked at her, eyes red. I didn't want to burden you. I didn't want you to see me as broken. But I'm not here to love a perfect man, she said. I'm here to love you. The real you. Even the broken parts. Especially those. And then it happened. He collapsed into her arms. Years of pressure, expectations, and silence poured out of him. Taylor held him as his shoulders shook, grounding him with her heartbeat. She whispered lyrics of old songs into his ear, songs he didn't even know she remembered. Songs that reminded them both of the first time they danced in the kitchen, the first time she played him a melody under a harvest moon, the first time he said, I love you, with trembling certainty. When the storm outside raged louder, the two of them sat there, surrounded by the soft echo of a piano's lullaby. Later, she wrote a song called Mirrorball Cracks. It was about loving someone who reflects light but doesn't realize they shine on their own. She never confirmed it was about Travis. She didn't need to. They stayed together, but not as the world expected. They pulled back from the limelight. Took time to heal. Travis started therapy. Taylor took long breaks from touring. They learned to communicate in whispers instead of headlines. Because love, real love, doesn't always look like fireworks or stadium lights. Sometimes, it looks like two broken people sitting in the rain, finally telling the truth. And that was where the real story began.